Okay, welcome back. In this tutorial, what we're going to do is we're going to cover the else statement. So far we've seen the if statement. If some condition inside of these parentheses is true, we run some code. But what happens if the condition we're testing for or evaluating for actually evaluates to false? We don't know how to do anything. We just skip the if statement. So that brings us to the else statement. So how this works is we have the if keyword and our parentheses to test if some condition is true, and our curly braces. So in between those two curly braces is the code block that runs if some condition evaluates to true. Else, if the condition we've tested for is not true, we actually enter the else code block and run the code here instead. Okay, so let's do an example of this. We could test for the length of a password. We could test a grade, some sort of Boolean value. So do a couple of quick examples, okay? Let's say hypothetically we want to test a user's password. So let's say let password equal to, and right now we'll just put it to an empty string. So a string with no value, right? And we want to test to see if the password length is above, let's say, 9 characters. So we can test for that. We can say if, okay? And what we want to do is we want to say password, use the decimal, right, dot. We're going to access the length property of password. We'll talk more about properties and methods later on in the course. But we're going to say if the password.length is greater than 9 characters, we just want to say to the user, console.log, you have a good password. We'll say good password, if I can spell. Alternatively, we want to say else, and we'll just console.log, please enter a longer password. Please enter a longer password. Okay, awesome. So let's save, go to the browser and see what we get. So we get please enter a longer password, right? Because if we were to log to the console the password length, right? Let's just show you this. Console.log password length is, okay, and then let's access the password variable and access the length property, right? We just come over here. We see the password length is 0 because it is an empty string, right? If I say something like, I like lemons, okay, well now the password is going to be longer than the required length, so we get good password. So let me just explain how that works. So I like lemons has 9 characters. So then we come down here to the if statement and it says, okay, is the password length greater than 9? And it's saying, well, that would evaluate to true. So therefore we come in here inside of the code block and we just log out, good password. If I was to change my password to be just lemons, okay, that looks like what? Is that 6? Yeah, 6 characters, I think. So password length is going to be less than 6. So 6 is less than 9, it's not greater than 9, okay? So is 6 greater than 9? No, it's not. So that will evaluate to false. Therefore, we don't enter this code block here. We come down to else and enter this code block here. And then we just log out of the console. Please enter a longer password, okay? Awesome. Please enter a longer password. Okay, we'll get a couple more examples in the next tutorial with the else statement. We'll do a few more tests. We'll look at Boolean variables and some stuff like that. So I'll see you in the next one.